We've also got a loaded pay-per-view on Sunday. AEW has 10 matches. You've got Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong. You've got John Moxley and Takeshita. You've got Trent Beretta and Orange Cassidy. You've got a lot of fun matches, including the Anarchy in the Arena match and the world title match. But I think the one that a lot of people are talking about is Mercedes Moné. This will be the first time we see her inside of an AEW ring wrestling an actual match. She'll be challenging the AEW Women's Champion, Willow Nightingale, or I'm sorry, the TBS Championship that Willow has. She's been around for a while now. A lot of people think this is, long overdue. People are itching to see Mercedes Moné actually wrestle and not just have skits and promos and things like that. But I got to tell you, I'm a little surprised the buzz isn't bigger. She was supposed to be this landmark signing for AEW, and I don't know that that has necessarily been reflected in ratings yet. I think we all know how capable she is in the ring, so I'm sure it's going to be a great match. But I did kind of think there might be more buzz around her finally wrestling in AEW. What do you make of all this with Mercedes Moné and AEW and it finally happening this weekend to maybe less anticipation than we expected?
It's flat. Nobody cares. Her buzz is absolutely gone. It was self-inflicted. Poor booking, just poor decision making from day one until now. It's horrible. AEW, and I'm going to suggest that perhaps, because I'm not there, Mercedes herself, I'm sure she had some influence over how she was going to be used. And whatever decisions were made collectively or independently of each other, they've just taken all the gas out of her tank. Her appearances have been borderline horrible, bad if you're in a good mood, marginal if you're in a good mood. And when you killed all the anticipation by overexposing her in a way that she shouldn't have ever been used. You killed her character. Nobody cares. And she'll go down on that long list of amazingly talented people with a high degree of equity with the audience, connection to the audience, value with the audience. And they end up in AEW, and within a matter of months, or Mercedes' case, almost months, it just doesn't matter. It's just another name on the card.
Well, I know that the match is going to be outstanding. I don't think I've ever seen a bad, quote unquote, Sasha Banks match. This will be the first time any of us see Mercedes Moné in an AEW ring, but I even enjoyed her stuff pretty well in New Japan. So I'm excited to see what she does best. Maybe not promos and skits, but actual bell to bell. And it seems like AEW always delivers on pay-per-view. I mean, they always have critically acclaimed great matches. But I wonder, I've even heard some people in the industry say there might be less interest in this pay-per-view than any AEW pay-per-view in history. And when I heard somebody say that, I thought, wow, that's a hell of a statement. But I guess if you've been trending or taking a look at where ratings are and attendance is, it does feel like they're looking for some momentum. Do you think a strong showing on pay-per-view could be the thing that gets you some momentum, or does momentum start on television, Eric?
It has to start on television. Look, AEW has, let me break this down a little bit differently. You said, yes, AEW has critically acclaimed pay-per-views. Well, critically acclaimed means internet wrestling audience.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Yeah.
The loudest portion of the internet wrestling community tends to lean into the in-ring action, quality of the match, Dave Meltzer ideology, philosophy. Right? That's what they talk about. That's what they like to compare. I'm not talking about the entire internet wrestling community, the internet. I'm talking about the percentage of the loudest voices you tend to hear, because that's a very debatable topic. It's an easy thing to talk about. So it attracts people to debate and whatever. Critically acclaimed means absolutely nothing in terms of trends. It's just interesting and it's fun to watch because some of the perspectives are really, really smart and insightful. Some of them are so bizarre that they make me laugh. And there's everything in between. What you don't hear people talking about is story. Now, last night, as this drops Friday morning, last night we did a Wise Choices where we talk all about, well, not all about story. We get into what is going to be a 3-part series where we break down story and what we're going to define story, because I think right now the biggest issue is there is no story, and whatever stories there are they're not very good. But people don't really know how to define a story. And I talked about last night on Wise Choices, I made a comparison between AEW and a microwave oven. As bizarre as that sounds, it's a really good example of what I mean. And I'm not going to talk about it here. Check out Wise Choices, but we're going to talk about that. But I think the reasons that I talked about last night on Wise Choices, as we begin this journey into what is or isn't story, is that people are now, AEW has successfully created a product that is designed to appeal almost exclusively to that segment of the audience that only prioritizes great in-ring action, which is why it's flat, which is why the ratings are down, which is why attendance is down, which is why the goodwill that AEW came to the dance with is all but gone, with the exception of a very small nucleus of that hardest of hardcore in-ring action fan base. So, I mean, I think that's it. There's no other explanation out there. You can blame it on hockey, you can blame it on, but a good pay-per-view, AEW's been doing that for 5 years.
They have.
Hasn't helped them yet. Hasn't helped them grow their audience yet. Hasn't created a comeback opportunity to help rebuild momentum yet. And given how low the perception of AEW has become over the last couple months, 6 months really, I don't see them springing back simply by putting on a banger pay-per-view that is critically acclaimed. It won't matter. At the end of the day, it'll be fun for that audience, and I might even enjoy it. There's aspects of that presentation I do enjoy. But in terms of it, being a rebound opportunity, not a chance.
It's interesting because we often talk about here on 83 Weeks, what was the moment, what was the tipping point, when WCW started to lose momentum? And there's all these, theories. Oh, it was Starrcade 97, Starrcade 98, or it was the finger poke of doom, or it was this moment or that moment. And I am curious, if there was a point in time where we can point to and we can say, boy, this is when the momentum shifted downward for AEW. But we know that momentum can go either way. And I, for one, am hoping that it's an awesome pay-per-view and they get some momentum and they have a really, really strong build to Wembley. And I know we've got other pay-per-views along the way, but it does feel like Wembley it's got to be the focus right now, right, Eric? I mean, coming out of this next pay-per-view, I mean, that's kind of like your WrestleMania. I hate to
Well, it should be. If it's not, it should be, for crying out loud.